Merry Christmas, lovely VGC, the video game podcast listeners. And if you don't celebrate, happy Friday. We're here with a best of episode from the last year. Wasn't that a great year, Chris Gillian?
It was brilliant. I'm sure most people will be hoping for the bit where me and you have a massive full-blown argument. I'm sure that's in there.
Yeah, and maybe for next year, Andy, we'll record our arguments.
No.
Well, while we're off sunning ourselves in the Christmas joy, the Christmas glow of too many chocolates, we thought we'd give you a nice best-of episode. But don't worry, your normal podcast will resume on January the 3rd. Until next time, say Merry Christmas, Chris Gillian.
Merry Christmas, Chris Gillian.
Say Merry Christmas, Andy Robinson.
Merry Christmas, Chris Gillian.
And we'll see you next year. Our love was on the wing. You're a pink pony girl and you dance at the club. Welcome to a new kind of tension. You are my special, so take it like a taker, because baby, I'm a giver. I heard you like magic. I've got a wand and a rabbit. Let's work out on the remix. When you hear the noise of the Tartan Army boys, it's VGC, the video game podcast, with me, Jordan Midler, Chris Gillian, and Andy Robinson.
Gentlemen, I've been in this business we call show for many years.
He's cutting a Ric Flair promo.
No. I'm going to finish my story by starting it first. In May, the 2nd of May, will be my 18th year doing this. I know the exact day I started. In these 18 years, I have had a lot of criticism leveled at me, as is normal with this job. People say, no, you're this and you're that, you don't know how to play games. I have never been so surprised and frustrated and angry at the pish I have received in the past few days after sharing a minute and 18 seconds of footage from the upcoming video game Top Spin 2K25 set for release next month, I believe. I made a trip to Paris, which in itself was frustrating because I was up at 3:30 in the morning to fly to Paris to play the game, which as a apparent tennis know nothing, I enjoyed it.
A layman.
Exactly. Enjoyed it nevertheless. Took us to some cafe called Break. Which is a clever play on words because obviously you got breaks in tennis. I understand having and there was like a tennis court there as well, and they said you can go and play tennis if you want. I'm like, look at me, mate. You're all right. Just put the controller in my hand, that'll be enough. The game was fine. I captured video. I said, oh, this will be good. The kids will love seeing some Top Spin in action a good month before it comes out. They'll love this. They'll be so appreciative. Not a bad word will be said. Got the late flight back home. Definitely didn't steal one of the 2K, the Top Spin 2K25 cushions that were littered around the venue. I absolutely am not sitting on it right now. Got back, put the footage up, and the deluge of tennis knobs that I then seemingly attracted. Apparently because my character was standing 3 feet forward than where they were supposed to be standing. Apparently in tennis, you're supposed to stand behind the baseline at all times.
Right.
Because that's how they do it. That's how they do it in real life.
But that's not the rules. Like, you can stand wherever you want.
You stand whatever the hell you want. Like, and like I was playing on hard difficulty, right? I don't know about you, but whenever I'm capturing footage, I've always got this lingering thing in my head from that Cuphead shit, where the guy who clearly was at an event capturing footage and had someone like a
music was blaring. There was a PR person saying to him, okay,
there's
so
a PR person saying, okay, exactly. He clearly missed the bit in the tutorial which says you can do the jump dash, and therefore spent like 5 minutes trying to make a jump, which he couldn't do because he missed the tutorial about the dash, right. Which is totally understandable. And it just turned into the internet going wild, going, hey, games journalists can't play games, blah, 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 blah. I was like, shush. So you always have that in the back of your mind while you're playing games.
You're doing a bad job and
footage,
everyone can see.
Like, exactly. So I'm like, I'm playing hard difficulty AI here. And it goes, by what I was told, it goes to another 3 or 4 levels, but the build we had was easy, normal, or hard. So I said, okay, we'll go hard. And I won like the match. The full match is on the VGC YouTube. Go and check it out. It's great. It's played exceptionally to a high standard. And But then apparently in tennis, in real tennis, you're supposed to stand behind the baseline because that gives you more
Time
a better
to-
angle on your shots, and
Right.
you can angle your shots better, whatever. What people weren't realizing is that top spins. This is just turning into a rant. I apologize.
Go for it.
Top spin's got this kind of new stroke mechanic. Wink, wink. Don't we all? As we get older, and it's different from the previous games in that as the ball comes to you, you hold a button down of your shot of choice, and then a gauge kind of fills up, kind of like an NBA 2K game. And then when it gets to the green bit, you let go. And every time you go to hit the ball, that moves at a different speed because it depends on your positioning and how hard the shot is and stuff. So when you've only been playing the game for 45 minutes, you've not mastered the timing yet. Of course you haven't, because it's going to take hours and hours and hours. So regardless of it, even if I stood at the back, I wasn't going to hit perfect shots all the time. So it wasn't going to like go to the extreme corners of the court. So I moved forward to try and get volleys and play lobs over and just try and make it interesting footage, because nobody wants to watch somebody just standing at the back the entire time. That's dull. But instead, all I got was that the tennis snobs came out, and like you can see it on my Twitter. It's just full of people saying you should have stood at why are you standing? Why are you standing in no man's land? Which apparently is a thing. I think it should be called No Women's Land, lads, because it was a female versus female match. So yeah, check your privilege. But it was, so I was just really annoyed because like I thought the footage was pretty good. Instead, all I got was all these decks going, "Oh, you can't play this game at all. This is terrible. The game looks okay, but I'd like to see someone playing it right so that I can actually judge it." And then some people saying this game's terrible. You can win a game by playing it badly.
This spilled over into my life where I was texted by someone who remained nameless saying, "Is there tennis discourse?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, what is what?" And then they sent me the links to these tweets, and
it's because I went on a rant. I think if I hadn't went on a rant, it would have come and gone without. But you know what it's like. You ignore 99% of the shit you get on Twitter, but every now and one day, every so often you choose violence. And I just happened to be holding a tennis racket on the day that I chose violence, and not holding a top spin cushion. I decided to hold a racket instead. I just said no, and I went on this maybe over the top rant where I basically said, "Hey, tennis fans, you should maybe treat newcomers with a bit more respect." Because and I understand, but like there's going to be loads of YouTubers who are new to tennis. This is their first top spin game in like 13 years. There's going to be a lot of kind of young generation, like kids who haven't had a good tennis game for it other than like Mario tennis games, coming to this for the first time. And sure, maybe they don't watch tennis their entire life and they don't know you're supposed to stand behind the baseline, and they're going to get put off. They could get really into the game and like help like make it popular, or they could put up one video, get a load of abuse, and go, well, okay, I'll move on to something else. So they need to kind of cool it, or it's going to sink without a trace. But yeah, the game's good from what I've played of it, and there'll be a review next month with loads of footage of me standing right at the net, just to annoy everyone.
Do what I do, like when I make video reviews in the past for FIFA games, I would just make all the footage Celtic battering Rangers.
Oh, little man,
it's
unbelievable.
so annoying. And like the day itself was stressful. Like my taxi picked me up like 3 hours after everyone else, so like I was basically sitting in a wee front reception bit, and after, so basically when we turned up, all the kind of French press were there, and they had a session and they left, and we went in and had our session, which was like 2 or 3 hours. And then we all left, and everyone else got taxis because they were leaving earlier. My flight wasn't till late, so I had to stay there for 3 hours, during which time all the influencers came in. So they had their kind of session, and there was one guy who was like, I couldn't put a pinpoint where he was from. You know, when like European people speak English, they put on an American accent, and it's just slightly off American. One of those, because I'm here to play Topspin 2K25, and I've set myself a challenge. And the guy, so this guy came out with some poor guy, a cameraman guy, who reminded me of the guy in Ted Lasso who starts as the ball boy and then becomes more. I
Yeah.
can't remember his name. This guy was like on the camera, kind of looking small and kind of nervous. This louder than life guy was like standing and bringing over the security guard for the event, saying, "Help me here, throw the tennis ball at me when I say I'm in Paris. You throw the ball," and the guy's just like, "Who the fuck are you, mate?" and it was so awkward
I
because
will do it for one cigarette.
it was amazing because
Je ne
I'm
comprends pas.
not exaggerating here. It took 15 to 20 takes to do this one bit because the guy had no idea what he was saying, and every time when this guy said Paris, the guy didn't throw the ball at him. He was supposed to say, "I'm here at Paris to play to set myself a challenge," and then catch a tennis ball and show it to the camera and say, "I'm here to play topspin." But every time it was like, "I'm here in Paris and I've set myself a challenge. When I say Paris, I need you to throw the ball." Okay. "I'm here in Paris and I've set myself a, when I say Paris, I need you to," and then like 10 times, and I'm sitting off camera like peeling my own face off, going, "Mate, I'm so
Give me the
tired."
ball. Give me the ball.
I'm
Yeah,
spending like
give me the
time
ball.
like angry at this guy saying, "Get out of this room so I can steal this cushion." Like, I need an empty room to put this cushion in my bag. But
I have a
we
cushion-based
got there.
heist to perform. I mean, they talk about the Rory Delap throw being something that changed football, possibly not for the better. This could be the new technique for, this could revitalise an ailing Andy Murray right now.
At the end of the day, I won the game. So
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
tennis pros take note. It turns out
Get
if you
close.
take a few steps closer, you actually can do better.
Yeah. Is the game any good?
It's fine.
Yeah. Right next.
Look, the game looks good. It's got all the venues. It's got all the people in it. I don't know. They've only had like 10 characters in it so far, and like
Right.
Raducanu's in it.
Federer.
McEnroe,
I forget Federer.
Federer and Williams are the cover stars. McEnroe does voices a tutorial really
course.
badly.
Of course.
It's as if he's like never seen a microphone before. It's awful, but like it's fine.
Careful, I don't turn into the Incredible Hulk.
Steffi Graf's in it, and Andre Agassi, the power couple.
Mm.
And then some kind of modern ones. I don't really know modern tennis players. So
No,
like,
there's no stars from tennis anymore.
which I think is why Federer and Williams are on the cover.
Yeah.
To be fair,
What's
but
that?
yeah,
What's that mental anti-vaxxer guy allegedly?
It's not fair.
Djokovic?
It's not fair. Djokovic, he won't get involved.
he's not in it yet. I don't know. I don't know who's in it because apparently I was talking to the art director guy and he said that unlike a sports game where you just like hire the league and get everyone, with tennis it's like a athlete by athlete license, which is
Right.
why you never get a tennis game that's got everyone in it.
Yeah.
But
'Cause it costs £1 billion.
Yeah,
It's
they license
Cesaro
like,
or DLC.
Yeah.
yeah, but you license like 4 or 5 big ones and then like fill it with shiters to make up the numbers, like guys who are like ranked 128th. And
Oh, I like
Um,
that.
but so far from what I've seen, it's good. It looks nice. It's solid enough gameplay. I'll definitely play more of it. It's just I won't be sharing what I play of it online because I'll just get so angry
They have
from the 80s.
yeah, they have an ultimate figure line which comes with, in this case it's Asuka. It comes with her massive entrance cloak as like a soft good, and it comes with 2 extra heads and an extra set of hands for £30. Like,
See, 3 heads is enough.
yeah.
I
Don't
think
need
this-
5 faces when you've got 3 heads.
I think this Georgie Animal Steel was like probably £5 back in
That-
the day.
okay,
and he's got,
that
and he's
George-
got real fur on his hairy back.
That George the Animal Steel was from the Jack Specific WWE Classics collection from like the 2000, like early 2000s. So I also
Right.
had that figure back in the day. That would have been a $9.99 figure.
Right.
Inflation and all that, but
Look, I mean, he never had those muscles either, did he? I mean,
Yeah.
I know they're terrible for that sort of behaviour.
There was a wee shop in Glasgow called Scotsman's Models. I don't know if you're aware of it, Jordan. Down are you familiar with A1 Books and Comics?
oh yeah, I'm a regular.
So just down the road, maybe 5 or 6 doors down the road from A1, this would have been again early 2000s. There was another one called Scotsman's Models.
Was that the one on the
and
corner?
It was just at the corner, and they clearly originally dealt with like model trains and model cars and stuff like that, hence the
Right.
name. And then when WWF Attitude Era was getting big, he started adding wrestling figures as well to try and get some extra traffic from everyone turning up at A1 all of a sudden, because A1 Books and Comics was the place to buy your wrestling figures in the late 90s, early 2000s. So this guy started selling WCW figures, which A1 didn't have a lot of. And my brother went one day and bought like a multi-pack. It was a WCW versus NWO. and it was like Hogan and Nash and maybe Sting. I can't remember, but it was like a 3-pack with figures, and he was buying it. And the guy is like a really weird old guy who was working behind it, and he was trying to you could tell he was trying to know his wrestling and kind of try and figure it out. He says, he's looking at the box like WCW and NWO. What's your favourite out of WCW and NWO? And my brother's like, I don't know, probably NWO. And the guy looked at him and says, so why the hell do you mix and match? He's like, can I buy the thing? Can I buy the thing or not?
All right, I'll buy an Intercity 125 then, all right? I won't get involved in any of this foul jamboree.
What have you got in terms of Hasbro, like toy buses?
That's like someone buying a Power Rangers figure and then buying a Rita Repulsa to like have a game against, and they're like, why are you supporting the baddie? Why
the goodies did you like the baddies?
Story number 4, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is the 30th game to earn a coveted Famitsu 40. If you're not aware, Famitsu claims to have 4 different people review the same game, and they each score it out of 10, making up the 40. The game here is, I'm going to read you out some Famitsu 40s, and you two can
Isn't it like Resi 6 or something?
There is some absolute
There's some very questionable.
channels.
There's a very questionable Nintendo DS one.
Can't trust game journalists.
You certainly cannot. Okay, we'll go from
Nintendogs. Okay, I'm gonna not ruin the surprise.
We will do a yes or no for some of these.
But as to whether we agree or not.
Yeah, whether we agree it's a 40, just give me a yes or no. It can be at the same time. It can be whenever you want it. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Yes.
Okay. Soul Calibur.
Yes.
The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
No.
No. It's like a 38.
Some guy was like Zelda, and he was like, "No, having it." The blades need to bleed.
Bayonetta.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Pokemon Black and White.
No. Okay.
No.
I see you sending me very subtle signals, shaking your head like wild.
Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Now we're talking. But another. Oh god. I assume this is the one you're referring to. Kid Icarus Uprising.
No, I was referring to Nintendogs. I thought that was a questionable.
Oh,
40.
bro. Nintendo's more a 40 than Kid Icarus Uprising. IMO. Jade, Kid Icarus Uprising. Yes or no? 40 out of 40.
Nah.
No.
I enjoyed it, but it controlled like an anus.
You needed that bloody 2 left hands to play.
You did. that extra. Remember that horrible extra
Pro or whatever.
the extra
nipple.
Yeah, the extra circle pad that attached all the way around the thing just to put one.
Give it to
analog
him
stick
for
on
saying, "Oh yeah, we know this game controls like hot garbage, so here's something for your DS."
Oh Jesus Christ! If you're a Legend of Zelda game or you were created by Hideo Kojima, you've got a free pass to 40 in Famitsu.
I bet MGS4 got 40.
It did. As did MGS5.
And Death Stranding, amazingly.
As did MGS Peace Walker. See, there's a
like,
pure rap.
More like MGS Piss Taker.
There we go.
Ghost of
There's a pure
Tsushima. God, this is.
Oh really?
Surprise, yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima is a good game, but not
Final
40,
Fantasy 13 2. What are you smoking?
Jade, I want us to go to Japan and go to the Famitsu offices and just stand outside with this list. Final Fantasy 13 too.
Now that we've thoroughly deconstructed the Famitsu 40. Where's FIFA 13?
Yeah. More interestingly, here's a list of games that didn't make it.
These are 39s, aren't they?
Yeah, here's your close calls. Tekken 3, come on.
That's a 40.
Game. Kingdom Hearts 2. That's like a fucking 15 out of 40 in my opinion. Sorry, George. Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence didn't make it.
Oh, that seems like it's not my fab Metal Gear, but like it's bloody good.
Yeah. FIFA 12.
There it is. They love it. They're all about winning 11.
Yeah, that's true. The Last of Us Part 2. Elden Ring's a surprising one. I would have put the house on Elden Ring getting a 40. But yeah, it's
surprising. The Last of Us 2 scored quite high because they don't. Because see how many of those are Western games, Western developed. because what is one of the things the article kind of focused on is that there are like 30 games that got a Famitsu 40, but only 6 of them also got a 10 in Edge. I think because culturally it's so different that there's like one visual novel or something got a Famitsu 40, which obviously nobody in the West would touch, more or less. So there's only a handful of games.
If you're writing for Edge, you've got a good chance. Like, if it's a visual novel, a 10 if you ask me.
There's a JoJo game here with a 40 by CyberConnect. Like, what?
Those Attack on Titan games that are basically just replays of the series, give them both 80s. Yeah, it is. Are you talking about 428 Shibuya Scramble on the
That's the
Wii?
one.
Everybody's favourite?
That got ported to like PS4, right?
Yeah, I did. Yes, Famitsu
One of my favourite scrambles.
Yeah,
Don't trust them.
just right next to Screwball, right up there.
And your occasional scramble outside a wedding.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore, like throw coins
You
at weddings.
No? Who's got coins?
think
Did you just throw contactless cards?
That's it. Just throw Nando's black cards or whatever it is.
What a contemporary reference.
I've not played Infinite Wealth yet, though. A copy is on the way, so I'll get
Infinite
you
Wealth.
Famitsu.
Infinite Wealth is a banger.
I've heard it's a
well
banger.
deserved, in my opinion. It was a week ago today that a large box appeared in my house containing the PlayStation 5 Pro. I believe you were the same, Aaron.
Yes, I was. Yes.
We got the special exclusive Scottish release date, which was one day after it actually came out. How has your first week in the professional life been?
It's I've been a little conflicted on it, to be honest. I've been like impressed and underwhelmed with it at the same time. I think that's going to be the general gist of things. It never really crossed my mind that like the upgrades for the enhanced games that are out there were going to be so different dependent on the like what the developers putting into them, because some of the games are insane. I mean, all the first party games are, I mean, the boost that they're getting. I mean, you're playing something like, I know it was a PS4 game before, but like The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered's running at like 4K 90 or something like that if you've got a VRR display. And you're getting a lot of other things like that. And then some games like Lords of the Fallen from last year, which did not run that well at all. The upgrade, the sharpening from PSSR, and it's now running at like a stable 60. The difference that makes is it is really, really special for some games. What I've been surprised with more than anything is, Mark Cerny, when he revealed this thing, was like, this is it's supposed to eradicate the need to choose. I cannot even visualize it. I'm assuming he was quiet.
Hey there.
The PS5 Pro. So
That's actually not bad. You're in the right ballpark.
So he said that the point in this was partly to eradicate the need. I'm pretty sure he said eradicate during the technical showcase, the need to choose between performance and quality modes. That is not the case for 80% of the games out there. You'll get the odd one, like the Crew Motorfest, ditches both modes. It's just one, like you have no choice. It's just running at this one that's 4K 60, combining the two. But then Spider-Man 2 has more choices now than it did before. Horizon Forbidden West still has a quality mode running at 30 FPS. Alan Wake 2 is still running at ray tracing, but 30 FPS. And this is a frame rate that Cerny called choppy.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He specifically went, "Y'all don't want choppy frame rates," and then you're like,
yeah. So I think there's a real muddled messaging with this one, which was always going to be the case because it didn't have the easy sales pitch of the PS4 Pro, which was just like, you want to play in 4K, buy the Pro, cool.
And the easy sales pitch that the PS4 base was absolute shite. Like, even when it came out, it was like terribly underpowered, whereas the shoot PS5 is still for whatever what is a shoot PS5 in the UK right now, like £330 because it's on sale for the digital version. Try build a PC that can play games like that for £330. You sooner hang yourself.
And when you start talking about the features that this is bringing, right? Your 4K, your ray tracing, and your higher frame rates, 120 they're saying specifically, all of them are technically possible through the base PS5. Obviously, support varies quite a bit. But yeah, this was not it is not the combination of fidelity and quality performance modes put together for every game. It's a really case-by-case nature. And some of the games are just not that different. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I know the Digital Foundry guys were absolutely rimming Horizon Forbidden West, but I cannot, like, that game looks incredible already. I can't say that I was like, oh, this is a noticeable upgrade. I think you're really going to see it maybe in the games that aren't quite that level already, sharpening up a little bit. But,
I'm kind of in the same. I'm in the same kind of area. I feel like the PS4 Pro felt like a replacement for the PS4, whereas the PS5 is like are you a nutter? Do you have a top of the line telly? Do you need to see this stuff at the absolute peak? I think the PS5 Pro will make more sense as the generation goes on. Like, I think by the time we get to Death Stranding 2 and Yote and stuff like that, it'll really be like, oh, okay, these are games that are designed with the knowledge of the Pro coming, rather than stuff that's been quite clearly retrofitted to it.
See, the Pro annoys me because in my head I see it as the message of the Pro is this is what we meant. Like when we promised 4K gaming and ray tracing and all that kind of stuff, this is what we meant. The 5 didn't quite hit those what people maybe had in their mind. Oh, here's ray tracing, but the performance tanks as a result. Now here's your ray tracing. This is what we actually meant, and it's like that. It's
weird though because I don't quite follow with that, because there's like the problem is Insomniac ruins all of this because they were already doing a fucking ray traced 40 frames per second mode on the PS5 that was like unbelievable. So it's like there was ways to get this amount of juice out of the PlayStation 5 if you knew what you were doing. It's the same way that we, in the Tony Hawk retrospective, was it American Wastelands we were looking at, and it's like, look at the character models in this, and this is the console that produced The Last of Us. Like, it's just what you get out of the system. And I think the Pro is like, I don't think many people will default to the Pro when they decide to change over, with the caveat that I still think that GTA 6 will have an absolute run on these things, but especially because they're going to put GTA 6 on the boxes. But in terms of like the wider stuff, like I've dipped into the majority of the software, and it is a lot of like loading up Hogwarts Legacy and walking in and going, this is a bit shinier, right? Uninstall. Yeah. And then just doing that over and over again. But this is also a self-inflicted issue of I have played absolutely all of this stuff with this, like, I played the Lake House on it, and that looked very, very nice. But the other issue is I reviewed Alan Wake on a fucking 4090. So we're not touching the sides of that. Chris Scullion, though, let me tell you, this will convince you to get a PS5 Pro.
It certainly won't, but go for it.
For years now, the EAFC community has complained, and you can even hear it in our review of EAFC 25, that the menus in the game, which you might not think are important in a football game, but it's so much of what you're doing, especially in Ultimate Team, are dreadfully slow, dreadfully sluggish and unresponsive. They have been running at 30 frames a second for the past 15 years. However, finally, with the power of the PS5 Pro, the menus, the replays, and set pieces now run at a cool 60 frames a second for the low price of £700.
That doesn't make me want to thank Sony. That makes me want to fly to Vancouver and kick somebody in the balls at EA.
Chris, fucking thank Sony right now for the smoothness.
It's not even down to frame rate or smoothness. When I press right on the D-pad on the Xbox Series X version of EA Sports FC 25, I expect the cursor to move right. I shouldn't have to press it 3 times.
So ungrateful.
Scum of the earth. I shouldn't expect.
I was howling laughing because we were joking.
We were joking about it. Maybe I'll make the menus work.
Literally does exactly what we thought was the most hilarious thing. And I because as soon as you load up the menu for FC25 and there's like a player doing a celebration in slow motion, when I loaded it up, I was like, that looks next gen. And
is it only 60 in some instances?
No, the gameplay has always been 60, but the menus have been 30. Now the menus are at 60, and honestly, the amount of time you spend in menus doing squad building challenges and all that stuff, it makes a hell of a difference. Pack opening animation also in 60 is beautiful.
Still
stuff.
Skip it, though, to be fair.
Yeah. What I'm actually disappointed about, and I think they've spoke about something that they want to do at this gen, no 120 mode for gameplay, and I would love a 120 mode because COD's 120 mode is fantastic, and I have the display for it. So
well, this is one of the things I think that they've not really done good enough a job with, like, marketing, is just like how much you'll probably miss out on by not having a VRR display.
Yeah,
because you're talking about games like RE Village is running at apparently 4K 120 now. Like I was saying, the last was up to 90. Some of the games are fluctuating between ones, but I've seen quite a few 120 options, and you're just not getting that at all if you're running just a regular kind of bog standard 4K 60 TV. And I know, I get why they wouldn't say it, because they're like, buy this £700 console and buy a £1,000 TV. But I do feel like a lot of people would walk into this going, it's pro, it's better, it does this, it says 4K 120 in the box, I should get it. You know, I mean, I remember when I found out you needed HDMI 2.1, you know, to do these things. And there's going to be plenty of people that don't know that at all. And they're going to buy this thing and they're going to like, yes, here we go. Actually, mate, your £300 telly's just not going to cut it, you know?
Yeah, this is for people who, when you ask them what telly they have, they talk about their LG OLED by the release year, rather than saying, oh, I think I've got some kind of LG. Like, it's the kind of person that watches John Linneman set up a TV for his settings and go, okay, I'm glad I have it. Obviously, we have the caveat, me and Aaron have the caveat, we didn't fucking pay for it. So, like, I said before it came out that if I wasn't doing this job and wasn't getting one for work, I would probably end up buying one. And I still think if I bought one, I'd be in this middle ground between not being disappointed because I didn't expect anything and not being like super excited by it. It's just it's a nice to have,
if
and
Sony,
I like having the latest thing.
If Sony came to your door right now and said that was just a rental for review purposes, we need to take it back now, would you go and buy one?
Yeah.
I need to
Chris,
would.
for the job, I need to have one.
It's fun. I've got the same job. I don't need one. I don't feel the need to have one.
If you were reviewing all the first party Sony stuff, I think you absolutely would need to have one.
I definitely would.
Because people are
85
already
to 90,
asking how stuff runs.
Oh, fuck them. 85 to 90% of
not true. It's already
PS5
selling better than. It's tracking better than the PS4 Pro though. Like, if it's tracking better than the PS4 Pro, then that is not an argument. Like,
it absolutely is.
It's not, because you can't have, like, if it's tracking better than the PS4 Pro, then, especially because that section of the audience is a section of the audience that reads games media, we need to be able to talk about how these things run on every gamut of systems.
Sure, but by the same argument, then why don't we review everything on PC and Switch and Xbox and PlayStation so we can tell everyone how every configuration works for every game that comes out? Are we going to review Indiana Jones on? Are we going to review Indiana Jones on Series X and PC and PS5 and PS5 Pro?
Well, first of all, it doesn't come out on PS5 at
I
the
know,
same
but
time.
are we going to re-review it twice when it comes out next year? So we've got 4 reviews of the same game.
But I specifically referenced the Sony first party stuff, and I think if you're the person that reviews all that stuff, you do have to be able to play it at the highest possible res.
Sure, but at the same time, 90% of the people who are going to buy it are going to buy it on base PS5. So I don't know. This is a discussion we can take off air.
I think it's interesting, and I simply don't agree. I think that in the same way that I think we have to have access to a really high quality PC to be able to see this stuff in the highest way they're offering it, I think we have to be able to see it in the highest way that they're offering it on.
I don't know. I can't justify spending £700 on something that I need for work. I can't. I don't agree. I need it for work. I think I'm happy.
No, I think we need one for work. I don't think everyone needs it for work. I think we just need access to one of them. If one of us had it, I think that would be fine for coverage purposes, but I just don't think that when it's going to be a thing it's going to be Sony's target platform, first of all. Like, when stuff starts coming out later in this generation that runs shit on the normal PS5, it's because they're targeting the PS5 Pro. Like, I bet Yote and I bet Death Stranding are the first games that start to make the PS5 seem creaky, because there's already games this year that make the PS5 creaky, like fucking Dragon Age.
How many more first party games this generation are there going to be that do that? We're four years into it already. When's PS6 coming? Have we got like 4 or 5 of these big games left before we move on to the next generation?
Oh, I think we've got way more than that. Because the studios only had like a round of games at the start of the gen. Like the back half of the gen will have this stuff. Like I can't name a single PlayStation studio that probably doesn't have a big game, a big PS5 game
at
before
that
the
point
end.
when those games start coming out, some people not just rather go, I think I might just hold fire and wait for PS6 and play them all then.
Until the PS6 is a grand.
Yeah, I reckon there would be people like that, but then at the same time, the trail off between generations is getting longer. You know, people are still rocking a PS4, and I think it's going to be the same thing where like maybe somebody has a PS5 Pro and it's cheaper at that point than to buy a PS6 and they stick with that for a while. I know people that have bought a PS4 Pro when the 5 was out because they were just like, oh no, I'm fine with this one for now. I do think there'll be a trail off in comparison to like. I do think that we will get a few big games though, because it's like everybody says, oh, there's no games. It's been really quiet. Like you're right, Jordan. I think there's a lot of the kind of big studios that have been like quiet for a while now that we should be expecting things before the end of the gen, and you're talking at least 3 years at this point till PS6 comes out, maybe.
I think you're looking at longer than that, especially with the weird start to the generation. Like,
it could be actually.
I mean, I bet we get. I literally can't think of a single Sony first party that probably doesn't have something, because like Naughty Dog still hasn't done their big PS5.
And they were
game.
saying they've been developing a new one since 2020.
Yeah, like Druckmann's thing is on the way. Obviously, Insomniac have already put out 4, and it was funny when Digital Foundry was like, "Insomniac put out 4 PS5 games." It's like, well, it's put out 2 PS5 games. It's put out 2 remasters of PS4 games. And yeah, so I think, as I said at the start, no, like I don't think anyone needs this, but if someone was to say to me, "Oh, I bought it because I have the telly for it," I'd be like, "Yeah, that makes sense." Like 700 is a lot of money in the console realm, but we even talked about this when it came out. £700 isn't a lot of money for a tech enthusiast. It's not even slightly a lot of money for a tech enthusiast, considering
and
the
to be
cost
playing
of
something with it like 4K 60 plus with ray tracing in some instances like that for £700 is really good. And like I get the price is high and the lack of the disk drive is really annoying, but at the same time we do have 2 terabyte and that bumps the price up a fair wee bit as well. You know, like by
I think it should. I think it should have been like 4 terabyte or something like that, because I installed like 10 games and it was already half full. Like I think the storage solution is well, the upgrade solution is very good, because you just fucking pop off and put like a drive in it, but it should have came with a higher base.
I just think as a tech enthusiast myself who has a PS5, I need to see £700 of difference to upgrade. I get people who don't have one yet, who don't have a PS5 and are choosing between the models. In that case, I get it. I pay a wee bit extra. But as someone who already has one, I need to see £700 of difference, and I don't see it.
Or £300 to £400 of a difference if you're trading in.
Yeah, but I probably wouldn't know. I'd put one upstairs. I mean, I'd need to. So I don't know. It's just I don't know. I'm not sold on it. And like if Xbox did the same, I wouldn't be sold either. I don't think. I'd rather wait for the.
I think you'd get an Xbox One.
I wouldn't.
An Xbox One. You'd go to the shop and go, "Give me your best Xbox One."
I wouldn't.
CX, or like £800, please.
No sale, boys.
We were talking about this at dinner the other night. £700 is a lot of money, right? But I think people need to swallow the pill that this is closer to what we're going to be paying for consoles forever now. I think me and you were talking about this, Chris. That Switch 2 is £500.
Oh, definitely. I get it. I as expensive as it is, I get it for a new generation. Like it's a slightly easier pill to swallow, but it's like, this is the next step up, not an iterative step. This was then, this is now. We are wiping the slate, and this is what you need now to start the next generation. Okay, then it's expensive if that's what they're going to be cost from now on, because of chip prices and shortages and stuff. Okay, but yeah, I don't think the PS6 will cost £700 at least.
Oh yeah, I don't think anyone would get, at least right now. It might happen in the future when GTA 6 is out and it's not on PC and the Pro is literally the best place to play it. But right now, there's no fucking FOMO with the Pro. Like, I don't think anyone should be like worried that they're missing out on anything, unless they are the absolute biggest graphics pedo going, but if they are, they're already in the PC ecosystem where you can outpower it with much more money. But if you're already in this world where you're just throwing money, then you can outpower it.
I don't want to hear about PC ecosystems just now. I'm trying to build one. I was
about to say, you're about to fucking throw 4 stacks on a PC.
And that is for my job, because it's got video editing all the part. Like it's doing my head in. It's so. This is why I hate when people talk about consoles and someone says, just build a PC. Is that right? I just build a PC.
I ruin your fucking life.
I'm not even building one. I'm using like a site that you just pick the parts and it does it for you. And I just put it on Twitter last night saying, what about these specs, PC nerds is in here that and people are like, what about, this won't work and that won't work. And these are, if you want to put a capture card in your 2 PCI Express slots and you want to put 3 hard drives in, then one of them will stop working. I'm like, what? How does that work?
When I was using, I think, probably the same website as you to get my PC built, and at the time I have no clue, and I had to get a friend of the show, actually, David Kirkstall, he's been on before. I had to get him to like properly walk me through every step, and I had zero understanding. I was just like, here's what I need it to do these things, do that. No. Okay, yes, and buy it from there. And the hassle I've had with my PC as well, and to kind of bring it back to the pro stuff, I'm sure we spoke about it last time actually, Jordan, is like, people keep using, it's £700 at that point, just go to PC. I've got hundreds of games on my PlayStation account. Yeah. I'm not rebuying all of that stuff, you know? I don't want to then transition all of this to this thing and leave. Like, especially, I know it might seem pretty trivial, but trophies and stuff as well. I like to have that stuff. I'll get all my friends in there. So, yeah, I'm stuck with it.
The PC doesn't have Astrobot. End of conversation.
It will.
It doesn't.
It sold 1.5 million. It will.
I bet it doesn't.
I promise you it will. If Sackboy can do it, Astro Boy can do it.
But Sackboy's a fucking naivety though. Astrobot is the...
With the greatest respect to Astrobot, 1.5 million is a naivety.
No, it sold about... Didn't Chris String said it sold good, so I mean... Who you
he said it sold good compared to other non-Mario platformers. Like Spyro the Dragons though, exactly, jumping in Scrooge McDuck money bins.
But I do actually wonder whether that could
You're
come
properly
to
fighting with each other.
Really.
We chose violence this week.
Don't fucking come for Astro, you fucking turncoat.
I love Astrobot, but it didn't sell crazy.
Oh yeah, I love him. I did not inhale.
I love him, but he needs to turn more to a profit.
You can't.
This is what it's all about for you. Raw sales. I'm in it for the games.
It's all about the cheddar. It's all about the cheddar.
About the passion.
If you don't bring the cheddar, you can whistle.
This is why games media is fucked. It's the overanalyzation about shit that doesn't matter. Right. Like fucking how a game sells. Right. It's how a game makes you feel. And Astro makes me feel good.
How a game makes me feel is like if it's 60 frames a second or 49 frames a second, that's the difference in my heart. What frame rate does a blood pulse through my veins?
You can. I don't think you can put that on PC though, because not everyone that would play it on PC would have a DualSense, and then how would that work? Because it's so integral to the experience.
Score 1, 15 love. In conclusion,
why is Returnal on PC then?
Because you can.
Returnal is not.
But that's not as
Returnal's one of
the.
Well, they'll tweak it. They'll tweak Astrobot to make it less DualSense based.
Let's watch these reprobates tilting the Xbox controller on a PC to play Astrobot.
Surely you can play Astrobot on a third-party PS5 controller that doesn't have all the...
No, it tells you to fuck off. Jim Ryan appears on screen.
If you're one of the only 1.5 million people who bought this game...
Why are you coming for Astrobot?
I'm not coming for Astrobot. I'm just
why
saying...
Are you suddenly become an Astrobot?
I'm not coming for Astrobot. I'm just saying if a game shifts 1.5 million copies in this day and age, especially a game with the marketing behind it that Astrobot had, they're going to look for more return on that. So I can see it going to PC to sell more copies.
Yeah, stick with your shitty 30 FPS menus, bud. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I just want to make it clear this is my final appearance on the VGC.
In conclusion, I think the PS5 Pro is fine. I think it's a solid. Like, if I was to give it a star rating, I would give it 3 stars. It is exactly a 3-starrer. Why are you shaking your... It's not a fucking 2-star
when
console.
when it drops to 500, I'll buy it.
It's never going to drop to 500, ever.
I'll never buy it then, ever.
You have a vendetta against this console, and I don't understand why.
I think it's superfluous.
It is, but
Well,
so
that's
much
my
of tech
vendetta
is
against it.
superfluous.
That's my vendetta
Do you
against
think
it.
this phone's worth 15 grand?
Listen,
Not 15 grand. 1,500.
He's got the Pablo Escobar build, the solid gold version.
No. Using an infinity gauntlet to scroll through it.
Don't you regularly spend hundreds of pounds on remakes of consoles that you already have? That is fucking superfluous.
I buy all the tech, mate, and even then, I'm not having this.
A PS5 Pro is worth more than any of these fucking 4K N64s have ever
Not in
been.
here, not in my 120 FPS blood.
You're waiting enough. Jaguar.
Aye, listen, this is the pinnacle of 64-bit technology.
How much was a Jaguar when it came out?
It was enough. It cost what it had to cost.
Oh yeah.
Aye.
Oh, I'm trying to Google. The internet's so pissed.
Where
now.
else? Where else were you playing Alien versus Predator back then?
Yeah, good point.
Aye.
Oh, actually, Chris,
Here we go.
I just picked up this last week.
Oh,
Alien Trilogy on PlayStation. Yet to
Brilliant.
play it, but yeah, just thought you'd maybe
if you
that.
put in the cheat code, I got pink acid boots on. Yeah, I'll get you all the cheat codes you need.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Anyway, patreon.com/TinyGamesChronicle.
For more arguing, for more absolute, we'll have a bare knuckle brawl outside Asda.
Yeah.
Who would win in a fight, Chris Scullion or Astrobot?
That wee prick.
Astrobot. Chris Scully doesn't have a dual sense. Can't afford it. He's bought too many fucking 4K Ataris.
Make more sense.
He's bought fucking 80 BBC Micros just this morning. A man who buys a fucking Playdata, a system that has about 5 games, telling
Here,
me
listen, what a console.
how does COD run on it? How will
it doesn't need to,
frame rate
mate.
wise?
It doesn't need to. It doesn't need to belittle itself by going with the mainstream. It's got a Sailor Moon educational game all in Japanese. That's all you need.
Yeah. To be fair, you brought that in now. People would talk about it as some kind of boutique console that would be fucking sold by what's the name? The Playdate people.
Playdate,
They'd sell it for $2,000, and people were like, you know what? I'm going to get it. It's nice and plasticky.
Sold.
When we come back, even more arguing.
Let's take a breath. Let's take a breath and appreciate the things we've got in life.
Yeah. We'll see.
We're all healthy.
In a minute. And we are back. Let's talk about Xbox.
Yes!
With you and me. Yeah. Let's say.
Here's our big boys now. Where the big boys play. Check this.
There's more copies of Astro on Earth than there are Xbox Series X.